What's up, Wolfpack fam? It's your boy Kid back at it again, continuing the Robot Wars journey with Heat M. It starts right now. Grab your snacks, kick back and relax. Let's get it.
Just 4 more places to be filled in our series' second semi-final. Who'll join Splinter, who bulldozed past Eric? Stinger, crashing, bashing and twirling beyond hammer and tong, and the bulldog breed. The mousetrap caught something and then snared little fly in the corner. And Spawn of Scudder sent the banshee screaming and the nightmare fading. Whose dream will come true today?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the man who thought a kamikaze was a Japanese toilet, Craig Charles.
To try and get fit, I recently joined an aerobics class, and I thought I looked pretty good in a leotard until someone asked if I'd come as an Easter egg. So I went to a steps class instead, which was a tragedy. I even got thrown out of the sauna. Well, if they put hot coals in the corner, I'm bound to have a barbecue, aren't I? Ah, well, maybe I should leave all the exertion to the robots. Time to see who's pumping some serious iron this week.
Yeah.
Craig, with 3 newcomers to Robot Wars, Scorpion and Reactor against number 27 seed Chromalot. Humphrey, they're new boys as well. We've seen the Steel Avenger before, up against the number 11 seeds Wild Thing. They're in the pits right now with Jules.
Looking to put the scrap back into metal. For the melees, we have Wild Thing. Literally too wild in the last wars, went out to panic attack. They were too fast, they lost control. So slightly smaller wheels, less speed, but more maneuverability. This basically just turns them up the right way again. It's not that powerful. Main thing is force, which will be used against Humphrey. New to the wars, spent 2 years working on this. They brought their intensive care nurse, Mick, should anything go wrong. Can lift a Ford Escort, pretty impressive. And watch out, there's a Humphrey about. Yes. The Steel Avenger. Obviously the main weapon is the duster at the front here. We've got bulletproof polycarbonate casing, twin Bosch motors, 750s, and this will come down on you with the force of Dawn French in a pair of stilettos.
Time to engineer some chaos. Let the wars begin.
From Colchester, Steel Avenger.
A second appearance in the wars, back to avenge defeat by Duotor last time. 2 electric motors give a top speed of 15 miles an hour to this trusty steed, and axe won't miss peeling back the shell of opponents. Shumi 2 actually fell to the Steel Avenger in the 3rd series of Robot Wars, into the pit. Then the Avenger came across a very good robot, an experienced robot in Duotor, and when toppled, they couldn't right themselves, and they fell at that stage.
Hi, I'm John Willoughby, I'm team captain of the Pneumatic Fanatics.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cockrell and I operate the weapons.
And this is Tony Bates, our 3rd team member, who's on his way at the moment. This is our robot, the Steel Avenger. We've got a front-cutting blade. We've got a very powerful pneumatic axe this year. And the big improvement is we've now got an uprighting mechanism.
And this is our lucky mascot, which we hope to clear up in the arena with.
Smart choice right there. They got an upright mechanism. I was wondering.
Shot in Hampshire, Wild Thing.
We'll make our hearts sing if it can go one step further than the semi-finals this time around. A Streamek, a multi-purpose lifting arm and lance, and even the eyes are powered by electricity. Ding ding, round 1 came out quickly against the prize fighter. KO'd against the arena war. Next up, Small Talk. A smash and a bash and a crash. And then a thrash. Cerberus turned over for a tickle on the tummy. But in the series semi-finals, up against Panic Attack, that's where it ended for Wild Thing.
I'm Nick Adams, and I'm here with Jake and Isabel and our robot Wild Thing.
Last Wars, his arm is at the back. This Wars is at the front, and it can self-right us, lance other robots, and tip them up.
In Last Wars, we managed to get into the last 16, but this year we're seed 11. We hope to go all the way.
From Newark in Nottinghamshire, Humphrey.
You better watch out Humphrey's about with its lifting arm made from a car jack, spikes, gearbox sprockets from a lawnmower. Oh, and there's an old table leg in there somewhere too.
Hello, my name's Helen, this is Nick, and this is our robot Humphrey. To the uninitiated, it's got all sorts of goodies, and as they say, watch out, there's a Humphrey about.
The drive basically is 2 gearboxes made from lawnmowers. They've got 2 24-volt motors and these 2 wheelbarrow wheels. It's got a turning circle of 0. It'll do a top speed of about 6 miles an hour, and this has lifted a car up by the dent there. But watch out, it's got a very nasty sting in the tail.
It looks heavy, but I think we want to go with Wild Thing and almost called the first one a feather duster thingy, but yeah, that duster one, I think we want to go with. I think it was called Avenger. Those are the 2 that we're gonna go for the first bout. I'm excited to see Wild Thing. You make my heart. I love that one. Groovy. Let's go.
Stand by.
Let's go.
The Steel Avenger from Suffolk. John Willoughby there, the controls on the left, Wild Thing. The controls, Nick Adams, Isabel and Jake. And there, Humphrey, new to Robot Wars, Mick Kirkford at the controls.
2, 1.
Oh, Wild Thing.
Wild Thing, the seated robot, quick to maneuver, now comes back on the attack, can get up to 8 miles an hour. It's not the heaviest of these 3. Quite the opposite, in fact. Now a little nudge tentative on Humphrey. There's the Steel Avenger. Big, burly, somewhat cumbersome. I wonder if those side panels are also prone to attack. They look a little bit suspect. Polycarbonate, aluminium and steel shell. That's Wild Thing dancing between the 2. You see there, the Steel Avenger slow to turn. The Wild Thing has the speed advantage over these 2 opponents. Now attacking the Steel Avenger again.
Nice.
The CPZ, which means Matilda can come out, but the Wild Thing followed up, which means also that Matilda can have another Wild Thing. That's the Steel Avenger, almost toppled. But the Wild Thing followed into the CPZ there, which meant that Matilda could attack right on the fringe of the corner patrol zone. So not great controlled aggression from the Wild Thing, but the Steel Avenger is in major trouble. The old feather duster looks a little bit flimsy, doesn't it? Oh, I think Matilda has shaken her tail feathers, and off comes the duster. Yeah, there, look at that. Well, they had this little sort of peacock's plume at the back, no longer. And I wonder if Humphrey's going to take any part any longer. It seemed to me that Humphrey was immobilised. This is the Wild Thing chasing down the Steel Avenger here. Steel Avenger getting away. I think that oh, no, they're okay. Humphrey's okay. Just about. Or are they? We'll have to wait and see. Wild Thing on the attack on the Steel Avenger. It really has been the tail of the tape so far. Humphrey moving belatedly. Oh! Straight into the claws of Dead Metal after all that. Matilda, little tusk on Wild Thing. If it goes to the judges, Wild Thing have done enough. I don't think it'll go to the judges because Humphrey, they've gone, haven't they? This is Dead Metal trying to slice down through the shell of Humphrey, and the newcomers haven't lasted long. Mick Kirkford, a staff nurse for an intensive care unit, and I'm afraid Humphrey's going to go back to the robotic unit for some quick repairs. Crunch! Oh, crumple, slice. Mick is going to take more than a plaster to mend, I'm afraid, your robot Humphrey. Onto the arena flipper, carefully placed. This is the Steel Avenger, being dragged by Kilolot and pushed by Wild Thing. There's the Sir Kilolot camera looking out. Onto his house robot teammate, Dead Metal, and there's the flipper, throwing Humphrey through the air. Away they go, crashing down. There's all the warning signs underneath. And the warning we will flash to Humphrey next time around. Bring a better robot. You are about to be decimated and totally destroyed by Sir Kilolot. Brave newcomers fall at the first hurdle.
This is all Wild Thing on this one right here. Humphrey, not the most impressive debut for this one.
Which leaves Wild Thing and the Steel Avenger going through, of course.
Humphrey gets the hump and goes out of the competition.
What's the diagnosis, Doc?
Split link failed, I'm afraid. It's probably only a pound part, but that's basically the reason why we're out. We lost traction to one of the wheels. You can't really defend yourself when you're going around in a circle.
You can't. Is that a bicycle chain?
It's actually one off a lawnmower. But,
so you could have replaced that quite easily.
I could have done if I'd have had one here, but unfortunately we'll repair it and live to fight another day.
Yes, but that's the tragedy of Robot Wars. When you're out, you're out.
Yes, ma'am.
Ta-ta. Humphrey go, Wild Thing and the Steel Avenger through. Next up, the seeded robots of Chromalot against the newcomers Reactor and Scorpion.
For one of these three robots, it is termination time. So Chromalot, as ever, making a big song and dance about the whole thing. Will they live up to the hype? Who knows? There's a world of hurt out there. Scorpion, new to the wars, beautiful chainsaw front. Those aren't metal. Are they going to cut through steel?
They'll cut 90% of things we come up against, yes.
Okie dokie. This spins at just 140 miles an hour, so you're fully tooled up, really, aren't you?
Well, someone said there was going to be a war.
Exactly. Fighting talk. And from Daniel's prototype to Reactor, also new to the wars, powered by 2 wheelchair motors. It is the 21st century. It's Robot Wars. And we've got wooden wheels. Why?
Because I'm a joiner and I can make them.
It's crunch time.
From Nutley in East Sussex, Scorpion.
Driven by 2 wheelchair motors with 2 electrically powered chainsaw cutting discs designed on the dining room table, they practiced against an old tumble dryer to perfect the Scorpion sting.
Look like one of those robots you put a quarter in and you go on the machine with the little music. Obviously, you can get cut up on this one, but yeah, it definitely looks very comical.
Hi, I'm Jeff. This is my teammate John, and here is our robot Scorpion. We have chainsaws, we have cutting discs, and at the rear, we have the sting in the tail. This, we hope, will do some serious harm.
From Birstall in Leicestershire, Reactor.
A flipper in the front, a Shremek self-running mechanism, the 2 wheelchair motors for power, a steel and aluminium shell, but wheels of wood and rubber. Reactor, be warned, you face meltdown.
Hi, my name's Russell Orton. This is my son Daniel. This is Martin Crouch, my 3rd team member. And this is our robot, Reactor. It's built of steel, it's full integral chassis, it has custom-built wheels and uses wheelchair technology. We've got a front lifting weapon, which is powered by CO2, which we're confident is going to lift all the other robots and flip them over. It's powered by 2 24-volt electric wheelchair motors and is built with steel and aluminium. We're confident we're going to do well and we're going to trash the other robots.
From South Ockenden in Essex and seeded number 27, Sir Chromalot.
Great Sports knocked out in round 2 in the last series. Has an 18-inch long rotating drill, a cutter, either end made of stainless steel, a Shremek, and at 80.3 kilos, heavyweight hopes.
Big drill.
It was Big Brother who beat them in the last wars, though they had style. Big Brother led them a merry dance. Though Sir Chromalot could prance. What style, what panache. And look at the way they arrived this time around. Splendid. Expansive.
Who's going to win? Sir C-H-R-O-M-A-L-O-T. What does it spell? Sir Chromalot.
Dave Whitehead and Steve Merrill. Oh yes, the class act returns.
Okay.
Hi, we're Sir Chromalot. Here's our machine. On the front, we've got a stainless steel cone, a cobalt tip in the front of it. At 10 miles an hour, this will pierce anything. On the side of it, we've now fitted a drill, same as the Kilolot's, only our one's better.
In the last war, we got flipped over, so we've added this. This will only allow the robot to lay on its side, and also with these legs, it will flip back up, so we can carry on.
We're a class act, and this is going to be devastating.
Roboteers.
There's the other guy.
There's Scorpion, then Jeff Smith, the sub-postmaster there on the left-hand side with John Bell and Reactor. Russell Orton.
It's actually pretty tough to go with, but you know what? Let's go with the class act of Chromalot, and let's go with Reactor. But I'm very interested to see how good Scorpion will do, on this one.
Daniel Orton and Martin Crouch, and of course, Sir Chromalot with Steve Merrill and Dave Whitehead. They're great sports.
I'm nervous.
2, 1. Activate.
So Chromalot, the seeded robot here, taking on Scorpion to start off with the chainsaw cutting disc. Scorpion very slow though, 7 miles an hour. Chromalot can get up to 10 miles an hour on Reactor, a top speed of 12, and they're shunted together at the moment. Hardly making any progress. You just saw there the little drill of Chromalot. It's not as good as Kilolot's, I'm sorry, boys. Reactor bashing away on the Scorpion. It's all a little bit cagey at the moment. There are the Chromalot boys. Steve Merrill, a video cameraman by trade. Dave Whitehead's an engineer. Reactor's Russell Orton is a computer programmer. Oh, something's come off one of them there. I'm not too sure from whence that came. There's some steam from the arena, nothing more than that. That's Reactor with the nuclear fission signs and the warning signs underneath Scorpion. Scorpion, a lot of loving, tender words gone on the creation of Scorpion. And I wonder how long it'll last. I don't think the cutting discs can get into play. And Reactor tumbles Scorpion immediately. Look at this, there's the drive from the wedge shape of Reactor. You saw Martin Crouch celebrate immediately with Russell and Daniel up there in the control pod as they toppled Scorpion. There's no way back from Scorpion there. But look, Reactor, I think, have got themselves stuck on the arena wall. Yes, underneath the side spike. They're up to 800 millimeters in height, Reactor. They got stuck momentarily. They're okay now, though. In the reverse and freed. This is Sergeant Bash. A little nudge on Scorpion. Scorpion immobilized too long. Oh, yes. The tail. Well, there's going to be no sting left in that by the end of Sergeant Bash's work. Dragging it back into the Bash lair. Also Sir Kilolot and Dead Metal. Down comes Dead Metal's cutting blade. Poor old Scorpion. And they're about to be dragged away to oblivion. Jeff Smith and John Bell. Yeah. They'd also like to thank John's wife, Pip. She let them design and build Scorpion on the dining room table. She had to delay cooking cheese on toast. Instead, she has Scorpion Rabbit about to be dumped into the pit by Sir Kilolot. Down goes the pit. The crowd wants Scorpion in there. It means, of course, Reactor and Sir Chromalot survived, though Reactor had a scare and will have to show better driving sense later on in this heat. Scorpion's on fire as well and eventually dumped out.
The sting taken out of Scorpion's sail, Sir Chromalot and Reactor, they go through.
Well, it's pretty obvious what happened here.
It is,
Who did that to you?
Sir Chromalot.
Oh, how dare he.
Yeah, drilled through our side, straight into the tyre, and once we lost our tyre, we were dragging on the floor.
We were, weren't you?
Yes.
So your weapons were pretty useless.
Yes.
But look at this. This is
got well cooked.
fantastic. Oh, dear.
We had our tail cut off and then set alight and dragged around. And
great entertainment.
It was great fun.
Real quick, before they put this next lineup right now, after seeing all of the competitors right now, to hopefully it's not a jinx, but Wild Thing looks to be probably, to me, honestly, the best out of this bunch here right now. This is just before whatever lineup they give us right now.
What was that tail held together with? String, it looked like. Scorpion have gone. Reactor and Sir Chromalot through with Wild Thing and the Steel Avenger. And in the second round, the seeds apart. Wild Thing will meet Reactor and Sir Chromalot. That's Steel Avenger.
Well, it seems there was more damage in that last battle than we thought. Apparently one of the judges broke a nail. So while they go and get that sorted, let's enjoy some pinball.
Pinball Warrior test of driving skill and control. Spawn of Scudder dominating with 245 points. 4 robots to go, including, next up, Gemini.
From St. Leonard's-on-Sea, seed number 8, Gemini.
Don't forget, this is a cluster bot. They can break apart, dash around the arena in different directions.
Roboteers, stand by.
Will they take on the barrels? 5 points for each knocked over. That's normally the first tactic. There we see them splitting. Well, they go for both sets of barrels. Gemini in the pit. dark horses to win the Pinball Warrior Challenge, and immediately are taking on one of the arena side targets and the multi-ball release option as well. That's 10 more points. This is a great run by Gemini. Perhaps built for the Pinball Warrior tournament, but once one half of Gemini is immobilised, that's it, that's the end of the run. Gemini taking on the car door release, that's 25 points. This is a wonderful run by Gemini. If that huge silver sphere goes into the highlighted bit, it's another 25. Up and over the bridge will give you 20 points, and a completed run, that's a rarity. In the Pinball Warrior Challenge, this is a magnificent run by Gemini. Where can they go next? Any of those balls from the multi-ball option into a pit, it's 5 points. Will they go for the other barrels, or are they leaving them for last? The Gemini boys, this is a terrific run. Time is just running away from them now. Do they get points there for the arena side target? They did. This is a magnificent run. The car door option swung again. That was Gemini. Points tallied everywhere. Well, a great run right from the start. That cluster of barrels knocked over. Very strange they didn't go for the other barrels. The sidewall target struck, then the multi-ball release, then the car door. Action everywhere on the arena floor, up over the bridge. This was tremendous driving skill. Torching the house robots, 50 more points. They'll go close, very close. They're on top, Gemini! The long-time leaders, Spawn of Scots, have beaten Gemini 255 points, and the remaining 3 robots are going to have to go some to beat that.
To think that anyone who was topping Spawn of Scudder right here real quick, it took 2 of them, though, to get that score. No, they don't get that score if it's one bot, for sure. Obviously, it counts as one bot, but yeah, that pinball was made for them right now, at least what it looks like. Interesting.
Pretty impressive new high score. We'll see if it remains next time. Right now, though, back to the wars.
And here's the second round lineup. Oh, Flash and Panache. Sir Chromalot against the Steel Avenger. And Wild Thing seated number 11 against the new boys, survivors thus far, Reactor.
It's Reactor's first wars. Let's see how those wheels are holding up. Wood taken any damage from the melee?
Just a little on this side, but not very much. We managed to repair it. It's been okay.
And look at that there. Is that a secret weapon?
That's a screw. With a bit of luck, it'll dig into the decking on the arena floor and will give us a bit more traction.
And Daniel, what do we want to do to the other robots?
Try and get them in the pit.
Yay, smash it up. This team's pretty confident, really, aren't they?
We are now. The first fight's always the worst.
Yeah.
Always.
And you got through the melee well?
Yeah. Only a
like
bit of surface damage on the other face.
Yeah. And you're seeded 11, which is a pretty good place to be at this stage of the game, is it not? Are you Mr. Tactician?
Yeah.
What's the game plan?
We keep the arm down till we've rammed into them, then we bring it up to try and flip them.
Okay. Let's see you be wild. I'll help you push it in.
Oh, we're going with Wild Thing, baby.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Reactor. Young Daniel Orton, 12 from the Stonehill High School. And Wild Thing. Isabel, who's 14, and Jake, 12, go to the Ash Manor School in Aldershot.
2,
1.
Activate.
Wild Thing quickly out to attack the Reactor, as we thought they would be, trying to nudge in underneath Reactor. A ground clearance of 5 millimeters only on Reactor, but that's the Achilles heel. Wild Thing attacking the rear, and Reactor and dumping it onto the arena sidewall, showing good style immediately. Nick Adams at the controls. Isabel controls the weapon of Wild Thing. Jake Adams, the tactician, or sometimes a weapon operator as well. Another nudge this time on Reactor. Reactor, though, they put those studs there. You see the screws and the wheels getting very little traction on the arena floor. And out comes Dead Metal trying to grasp hold of Reactor. A little bit like soap in the shower. Throw your hands and away. I wonder if Dead Metal will have another chance. I wonder if Reactor will get a chance here to attack Wild Thing. Wild Thing doing all the aggressive work so far. Should it go to the judges in the end? Well, it doesn't look as if it will do at the moment, because Wild Thing very much on the attack. This time Reactor getting away from Sergeant Bash. Look, this is a very, very noticeable tactic from Wild Thing. Attack Reactor from the rear. Oh! The wheels are crumpled and ruptured by Sir Killalot. Those claws can lift over 100 kilos, sliced through armor plating. Dead Metal on the attack as well. Reactor trundles back to the safety of the arena. That's where they need to stay, and I wonder if this stage, Russell Orton, young Daniel and Martin Crouch are just thinking, let's stay out of trouble and live to fight another day, because Wild Thing very much on top here. Can Wild Thing finish Reactor off, though? And I'll tell you what, Sir Chromalot and the Steel Avenger will be looking on here, because if Wild Thing cannot finish Reactor off, they will have high hopes for later on. But it looks very much as if the Wild Thing will progress to the later stages, because look at Reactor now. A little bit of movement, but nothing more. Just backing away. Wild Thing on the attack again, this time a broadside. Turns to attack the rear once again, and look at that shot from Wild Thing. So much power generated by the two electrical industrial motors, and again a slam on Reactor. Caught on the fringe of the CPZ, again Dead Metal has a go. A shunt from Wild Thing, classic Robot Wars wedge shape. Dead Metal pushes Reactor away. Surely there can't be long left. Wild Thing anticipates victory. Very, very near the flames. Dangerously so, like a maddened moth. In comes Dead Metal with the circular saw. Now that's noticeable. Can't actually make much impact on Reactor's shell. Steel and aluminium as it is. So Reactor, had it been quicker and more punishing on attack, might have gone further. I think it's going to go to the judges, and Wild Thing have failed to finish Reactor off. It will go to the judges. For me, there can be only one winner. Wild Thing will be disappointed with the way it ended.
Well, both robots were still moving at the end, so we've gone for a judge's decision. But whilst they make a decision, let's look at some of the highlights of that bruising encounter.
Right from the word go, Wild Thing went on the attack. That was the slam onto the arena sidewall. Now, I don't know whether or not that affected Reactor, whether any of the machinery came apart inside. They didn't have great power. Wild Thing into the CPZ, driving Reactor into the house robots. And again, look at the power of that shove. But you have to wonder about Wild Thing's weaponry, because all the damage to Reactor was caused by the house robots. Wild Thing, for me, by far the most impressive of the two robots, but didn't finish off the newcomers, Reactor.
Well, the judges have made a decision. Remember, it's style, control, aggression and damage. And they've gone for... You're nervous. They've gone for Wild Thing!
No shit, man. I mean, like, I know they got to do all this thing by the book, but it's so clear-cut who won. This guy, the other one can't even barely move, man. He's moving mad slow. They ain't going to do nothing. So I find it definitely funny, like, almost pointless. Like, we already know Wild Thing won that round. I mean, like, anybody just looking at that can tell that. This is probably the easiest decision that the judges had to make on the show right now.
The Reactor in meltdown, really.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't have enough power. We made a mistake, we changed to a lower gear, and we shouldn't have done. We should have left it at what it was.
And, you know, it did seem to be pushing you all over the place.
That's right, yeah. We just didn't have the power. Next year, we'll be back next year, and we'll make it better and more powerful.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah.
Confidence. Let's hear it for Reactor. Well, you're through to the next round. Are you excited?
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of other tougher robots to come now, you know. I mean, how far do you think you can go on this?
I have no idea. Well, we're actually really glad to get this far, but...
Yeah. It's quite a powerful robot, but there's no real sort of weaponry on it, is there, really?
Well, there's the arm, but which is just mainly for lancing and self-righting us and carrying them across the arena. Maybe it could do that.
Well, good luck. Hope you go as far as you possibly can. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Wild Thing!
Tactical error, boys.
Yes, unfortunately we decided to change to a different gear ratio, and it didn't work as well as previously.
A bit more pulling power and pushing power, but it didn't work out that way, so never mind.
Any regrets?
Wish we had to change the speeds.
And you wanted to get flipped, really, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Because it rolls over really well. It comes back self-righting every time. It's a shame it didn't, because it's quite entertaining when it happens.
Yeah.
It looks quite
we'll be back next year, definitely.
Too right, you will.
Our wooden wheels really lasted. They're Dead metal's worse, he couldn't even saw through them.
Yay, that is fighting talk from the young man. Dead metals are worse, and we'll be back for a grudge match.
Young Dan.
They're lucky that Kill-A-Lot didn't really partake in that one. Steel Avenger versus Sir Chroma-Lot. I think for me the better bout final is going to be Steel Avenger with Wild Thing, so we'll go with Steel Avenger, guys.
Stick to your BMX bike. Reactor's gone out. Wild Thing go through. And next up, the Steel Avenger against Sir Chroma-Lot. Steve Merrill and Dave Whitehead. The soft shoe shuffle with the Dancing Girls.
Sir Chroma-Lot, he's getting ready for war.
Here they are, the Chromettes. Music produced by Dave Cook. And Steve and Dave said they'd like to pass their thanks on to Dave and the girls for all their hard work.
Sir Chroma-Lot goes to war.
Work has gone into that routine, thanks to the girls. Nothing routine about the Sir Chroma-Lot side. It's all part of the theatre of Robot Wars, which brings us, of course, on to the star of their show.
Gentlemen, were these suits really a good idea? It must be a bit hot out here.
It's very hot, but we're a class act, and I want to have a word with you because you said earlier on, I don't think Sir Chroma-Lot's going to get through, we're going to see how it goes, and here we are.
Did I? I don't think I said that.
You did actually, I heard you whisper it, we're going past, but we're here.
You're here.
It's hard work, we've had a lot of repairs to do, but really looking forward to it. Jules has come to see you.
Yeah?
All right.
Are you hot in that suit?
Very, very hot.
You'll do well. Good to see you back again.
Yeah,
whatever happens, please come back to the next wars.
We will do.
Well, I shouldn't say that now, should I? It's a bit early. Well, there's not an obvious tactic against the Chroma-Lot. What are you thinking right now?
House robots, I think, basically.
Shove into the house robots.
I reckon.
Let's get it in the pen. Keep it moving. You've done well so far.
We have, yeah.
Did you take much damage from the melee?
We think it's all superficial. There's nothing structural. It's all on the front.
Yeah, lots of scratches and a few little dings, but not too much.
And the dust is intact.
Yes, and we have a little memento for you as a mascot from Steel Avenger.
All right. We'll pop that in the hair, and I'll be watching from the audience.
Good.
Roboteers, stand by.
Sir Chroma-Lot then with the rotating drill and cobalt cutter, and Steve Merrill and Dave Whitehead. And the Steel Avenger, now with the third member of the team, Tony Bates, arrived there on the left-hand side, and of course they have their tickling sticks. They have the weight, they have the power, the two electric motors, and they have that pneumatically powered axe, which we haven't really seen come into play yet, the Steel Avenger. Now, I just wonder, looking at Sir Chroma-Lot, whether that tall frame is actually top-heavy and whether they will be easily toppled. They say it's a streamer as well and can self-right, but I wonder, we'll see. Anyway, the Steel Avenger, we saw the axe there, didn't create any damage. Something's flown off. One of the little flags has flown off Sir Chroma-Lot, I think. Now this is the Steel Avenger turning. I wonder what that Sir Chroma-Lot flag said. They're a class act. Perhaps it had their sort of crest on it, their coat of arms on it, the sweat pouring off the Sir Chroma-Lot booted and suited team. Sir Chroma-Lot backs away from the Steel Avenger. Down comes the axe, missed. Down comes the axe, missed.
Come on.
Down comes... No. Backing away. Sir Chroma-Lot. Let's see if the axe can hit. Oh! Glancing blow. It's a mighty axe, isn't it? But now listen, Steel Avenger. The object is you knock the opponent out. You don't take on the arena or the pit. So try now. Yes! Down comes the axe, but it didn't penetrate the American truck wheel hub that protects the actual mechanics of Sir Chroma-Lot. But certainly for me, the Steel Avenger is on top here. Feather duster, oh, look at the sweat pouring off Steve Merrill. He loves his music, his dancing, his jazz. But Steve, get fit, young man. Mind you, that's an enormous pot calling a small kettle black. Sir Cromalot digging in. But pit, they're calling. They sense that the Steel Avengers' victory is nigh. That's a waggling stick. This was their potent weapon, Sir Cromalot.
Safe to say that stick is not as powerful as the House Robots one.
In the pit with a final waggle. It's where it belonged. Oh, what a weapon. The Steel Avenger through.
The cheerleaders won't be cheering now. Cromalot in the pit. The Steel Avenger goes through.
That bout had a little comedy to it. I think I really needed it. I really think I needed it.
All them girls are going to be in tears now.
Yeah, we tried.
What went wrong?
About halfway through, it was losing power, and it just got worse and worse, and it ended up not moving at all.
I think it's the tallest robot we've had in the competition. Do you think that counted against you? Was that extra weight?
Well, I think it was last year we unfortunately got turned over, the last wars I should say, we got turned over by Big Brother. So this year we put a self-righting mechanism on the top. We didn't actually need that because, as you see, we went in the pits, but we really tried hard, and we want to thank the Chromettes for coming with us today. Done a brilliant job. Thanks, girls. Fantastic.
Fair enough. Let's hear it for Sir Cromalot. Cheers, guys. Steel Avenger. Hey, it's a very attractive robot, yours.
Yeah, thanks.
And you've still got the feather duster. I thought that'd end up in flames.
Well, we just put that on the back to clean up afterwards, you know.
Is that a feather duster or a tickling stick? I'm not quite sure.
It might tickle somebody's fancy, hopefully.
Yeah, you're fighting Wild Thing in the next round. Do you think you stand a chance?
I think we could give him a run for his money.
That axe of yours seems quite tough, really.
We had problems earlier on, and it just wasn't working in the last round. We got through. I think we've sorted all the bugs now.
Yeah,
it's going really well.
Well, it was working in that fight, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah. It was well chuffed for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Steel Avenger. Well done, lads.
We're sorry you're out, but have you enjoyed yourself?
We've had a fantastic time. It's been really great.
And you came in some style, and it looks like you're going out in style as well.
We're a class act. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. Our heroes out, but we're back for more.
They tried. They tried, guys.
An honour guard waves farewell to Sir Cromalot, leaving, of course, the Steel Avenger to meet Wild Thing, the number 11 seeds, in round 3.
We're going all in. Wild Thing, boys and girls.
Heat M final.
Alrighty. There comes a time in a robot's life when it has to do or die. This is that time. It's the third and final round.
Wild Thing have got this stage by beating Humphrey with the Steel Avenger, who they meet now, of course. What do they learn from that thumping and bumping they gave in the very first battle as Humphrey went out? Next up, Reactor. Driven against the arena side wall, I think damage was caused there, and the House Robots had their fun with Reactor. Now, having beaten Humphrey with the Wild Thing, the Steel Avenger then disposed, as we've just seen, of the waggling stick and Sir Cromalot.
So you've got a serious charging up job to do here on the batteries.
Yeah, they drew a lot of current out the batteries. The motors got nice and hot, so we're just charging them up, make sure they're ready to go against the next one.
You haven't got long. It's the Steel Avenger up next. What are your tactics?
Just smash them straight away.
Oh, yeah? Your confidence is growing now, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit more.
OK, well, good luck to you, team. I think you could go a long way. Team, you're about to go into the arena. Now, we don't think you've really been tested yet. What do you say to that?
I don't know. I think this could be the time to prove what we can do.
This is going to be our toughest battle, I think. So,
well, let's see some action.
We've got a new duster anyway, so hopefully that will help us.
It's been specially sharpened.
Oh, the duster's been sharpened, the primary weapon, and I'll be rooting
so
for you.
So if we lose, it's your fault.
All right, get in there.
Damn.
From Colchester, Steel Avenger.
Plenty of bluster with their feather duster. The Steel Avenger team, John Willoughby, the captain in the middle there, the driver.
From Aldershot in Hampshire, Wild Thing.
And number 11 seeds with Nick Adams who owns a remote control model shop, and daughter Isabel and son Jake. The Steel Avenger, knocked out in the second round of the Series 3 by Diotor. Wild Thing, though, reached the semi-finals in Series 3 before being beaten by Panic Attack. Family team.
Remember that.
2, 1. Activate. Wild Thing from the right. The Steel Avenger, slower to start. Wild Thing. Quickly across the arena floor again.
Nice.
Look at that little lance on the front of the lifting arm to prod and skewer the side panels of the Steel Avenger. On the attack again. Those cones on the side of the Steel Avenger act as self-righting mechanisms. An innovation from the Suffolk team for this series. The axe tentatively rocked in its cradle. Wild Thing getting away from Sir Killalot. We've seen great driving from Nick Adams in this heat in the Wild Thing team. There's John Willoughby, the driver of the Steel Avenger team. Oh, and down comes the mighty weapon. Kevin Cockrell's at the control of that weapon. The mechanical expert is Tony Bentz, warehouse operative. And slamming against the house robot on the arena wall went the Steel Avenger. Wild Thing nudging underneath the Avenger. Got a ground clearance of a couple of inches. Now that is quite high for Robot Wars, actually. The Wild Thing's ground clearance, minimal. At the front, nothing at all there. The wedge shape against a more old-fashioned sort of a chassis for the Steel Avenger. Onto the flame pit. Wild Thing side on. I wonder also if those conical little stream mechanisms are acting as a protection. Let's see if they can right the Steel Avenger, having been toppled by the Wild Thing's thrust. They said the little cones could right the Steel Avenger. Well, we'll see, because now they're in major trouble. They can't right the Steel Avenger. The right side cone flicks out. There's nothing on the left. The axe can't lift the Steel Avenger. Wild Thing waits to see if they've won the heat. Sir Killalot comes in. I thought all along those side panels could be ripped away. I thought that would be the weak thing on the Steel Avenger. That's the way it's proven. There's the pit descending. They've come a long way via Humphrey, via Sir Cromalot. They've been great fun, the Steel Avenger team, but it ends here and now for them. Wild Thing gives the last shove, allowed to do so by the house robots. And Wild Thing have won Heat M.
Wild Thing, you make my heart sing. Wild Thing are through to the series semi-finals. You were avenged.
We were indeed. They were just too fast for us.
That's what I was thinking. A very nippy robot, that, isn't it? And every time you tried to get your axe on it, it was right behind you.
That's right. Yeah.
Difficult to turn around and get a good shot at it before he was in there.
Why come your robot's so slow?
I wouldn't say it was slow.
Well, it was
Well,
fast.
I mean, it's much slower than that thing, isn't it?
You geared it down, didn't you?
Well, yeah, the speed is geared down a bit from the last war to try and make it a bit more responsive.
Yeah.
And it just depends who we're up against. And this guy was just a bit too good, I think.
It was fast. Are we having problems steering, or is it easy to handle?
No, it's not that easy to handle, but I'm getting used to it now. So, you know, it wasn't letting me down.
Yeah. You did quite well. You came a far way, but
yeah,
you didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
Never mind, lads.
Never mind.
Steel Avenger, let's hear it for them. That went well for you, didn't it?
Yeah, they were really good opponents.
Yeah, they are good opponents. I mean, all the robots, when you get this far, are all quite hard, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, your steering was absolutely amazing.
I don't know how come my hands almost slipping off.
Yeah, it's very hot up here, isn't it?
Oh, they were very good. They managed to get an axe blowing. I'd like to see if it made a hole in it. But they got on into the pit in the end, which we helped them in.
Yeah, what I loved was the house robots just lined it all up for you, and you just came with that final little touch into the pit.
Yeah, they made it easy.
What do you think of the series semi-finals? All the robots get harder from here, though. Bigger, badder, and better. Think you're going to stand a chance?
We hope so.
Yeah, sure we are.
Okay, then.
Definitely going to beat them.
Do you think you're going to win the competition?
Yeah.
That's what I like,
Nice.
a little bit of confidence.
Nice.
Let's hear it for Wild Thing.
Need it.
Well, one of my favourite bands is The Doors, but we'll really light your fire on Robot Wars. Bye-bye.
Confidence. Boot up.
Coming next time, the mighty Behemoth are number 6 seed to reach the heat final in the last series. And all the twos, Exterminator 2, seeded 22. Who'll go through?
Guess we'll have to stay tuned to find out. Let's see if we can get this list, guys. Yeah. All right, so let's press play here. Boom. All right, so we just finished Heat M, and we got to say, from very early on, this could be the most predictable episode that we've seen on here right now, as far as just like massively a lot of these robots, I'm not trying to diss them, were not as great as the others. So semifinals, whenever we get to this finals, where we start getting the best of the best robots, it's going to be definitely that's what I'm really waiting for. There's no way to say it other than that. We're really waiting for that. Now, Sir Chromalot team, the Class Act team, that they were basically saying their, drill is better than, Kilowatt. That's some fighting words right there. But yeah, their drill was just itty bitty, so that battle where Sir Chromalot, and the Steel Avenger was definitely very funny right there. But this episode definitely was, to me, and I'm always wrong 99.9% of the time, but to me, this episode was the most predictable one out of this batch. Scorpion, you got funny looking robot. No self-writing, no flipper, the list goes on. I would definitely wanted to just see it pretty much and wanted to just see it get its butt kicked, and it didn't disappoint on that one, being a little bit on fire. I will say this, and this could be over critical on this robot, but with Sir Chromalot, right? So we see a lot of robots, right, that do come back and do have, almost say, massive improvements, right? It's one of those robots that I don't think their improvement was anything like the original robot. It's gonna be spark some debate, disagreements on me and stuff like that. But their second version, I still like their first version in comparison and stuff like that. If I was choosing one of their robots, their first robot was way better than the second one. It just, I don't know, it just didn't feel good watching them battle, like just not really much going on. So the first robot that we really feel that didn't really have much of an improvement. We've seen robots that look funny or gimmicky, that have been flammable, like Dietor. However, that robot has constantly been improving and improving and improving. Obviously, they stay with the flammable thing, but at least their robot was is going up. But Chromalite, some about that robot that just didn't sit well with me. That it just wasn't that much of an improvement. I'm not trying to be get a major dig on them and stuff like that. They got the nice energy for a team, where there's not really a lot of emotion sometimes happening from teams. So, they brought the cheerleader squad, the Chromalots, so they did a lot of things, you could say, kind of like how Plunderbird has that, massive, attention, so they bring in some life to the show. I definitely like that Wild Thing team. The kid was saying, yeah, we're going to win. I like teams to have some confidence to them. You're competing and stuff like that. They're not, dissing and saying, well, we're going to kill everybody. But, just sometimes you just want a little oomph. So it was nice to hear that. Some interesting additions here. I think that, besides Wild Thing, I definitely was interested in seeing Reactor. I thought that robot looks pretty cool. And I'd say Steel Avenger was cool. Had me laughing a little bit with the tickle line, with the feather duster. But yeah, we've seen similar robots, with the axe on the top. So nothing like out of the ordinary, strangely different. Wild Thing, though, remember when they first had the robot, one of the things that was very impressive with them was their maneuverability, their speed, their control. There was always already good with that. The father drives very well. see it here right now again. You know, he did the damn thing right there. When they had their first robot that had the like the little small like axe on the top or whatever the two weapons were, that was more just like gimmicky. So definitely an improvement there. I'm thinking, really thinking about it. Again, they're the clear cut winner for me on this episode. As I think about like the future robots, will you know what it's going to be exciting to check out? Will they, you know, have a chance? Because there's some really tough competitors that we're going to be seeing. So hopefully it's the cream of the crop. You know, Humphrey team, you know, they had that 99-cent part that or dollar part that didn't, you know, they didn't have no replace. You can't replace during a battle. So, you know, once something, you know, happens bad, you're in trouble. But yeah, the three that were kind of cool for me was obviously Wild Thing, Reactor, and Steel Avenger. You know, cool to see robots come back like Sir Chromalot, but you know, just like very lackluster for them. You know, yeah, they definitely was making me feel hot. And I'm not even in that arena with them suits and stuff like that. So I was feeling the burn. You know, they zooming in on the guy's sweat. Oh man! So a little comedy action towards that semi-final, that you know, that bout between Sir Chromalot and Steel. So much needed. And I didn't think from what we were seeing on all these pinball challenges, I'll make it brief, that I didn't think anything was going to be Spawn or Scudder right now. But seeing the robot right now that splits in two, yeah, that was made for that pinball thing. But look how close. We're going to give some credit to Scudder because, you know, it was what, like a 10-point difference, what, 255, 245. So props to Scudder, you know, having that high score, but two robots to do, and they didn't even get everything because there was still a set of barrels, I believe, that they didn't even knock down. So it looked like they were gonna go to it, then they kind of like went towards like the car door, so they had a chance to get even probably possibly even more. What's the total amount of points that we can get? What is it, like 300 or you know, fill me in on that, I forget. But yeah, I thought, you know, that robot that splits in two is definitely very interesting and stuff like that. That is 100% a cool robot, hands down. So that one changed the game just on being able to do that. Really cool. So yeah, we'll see you guys for the next episode. Definitely want to see Behemoth. That is one that my eyes are on just from that little you know, little what do you call, teaser. So yeah, we got more to come. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, you got my many thanks, and we'll see you next time for the next episode. Let's get it.